Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Femme Tell All podcast. My name is Madison Bellissimo.
And I'm Ruth Devereaux.
And today we are discussing, well, this is our last episode of the year. Aw, 2023. We did this.
We did it.
We started in August of this year, officially. And we are here.
I think we started out last year talking about like getting the podcast
100%.
going like in the way that we wanted. Because we'd been doing it in the years before, but like not as much. And like
this is
now,
the first year.
like we've been it's been just such a great experience.
Yeah, we took the leap, but that leads us to our topic of discussion, which is New Year's goals. We want to talk about how, daunting that can be and how beneficial it can be to set goals and what we kind of look forward to in the year coming and what we're going to focus on.
Yeah.
So, Ruth, why don't you tell me what you're thinking about for this upcoming year?
I mean, like, I feel like 2024 is a new chapter in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
that
like...
made me emotional. I'm so happy for you. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Now I'm gonna get emotional. No, it's a new chapter. Me and Neil are moving in together, and it's brand new next step in our relationship, but also just a brand new experience for me. Just in the way that we even decided to like take this next step is so different than what I've done in previous relationships. So I'm really excited to see where that takes us in the next year. We have personal like relationship goals between the two of us that we really want to achieve together. Obviously, like this podcast and working with you means so much to me, and I just want to see that thrive even more. I want us to set out goals for ourselves of like what we want to achieve and how we're going to achieve it, because I know we're going to achieve it.
1,000%.
It's happening.
And
then other professional goals, I would just like to as you know, like I'm leaving my apartment manager job, which is definitely bittersweet for me, but I want to take this time to really focus in on my professional goals outside of that and give it all my energy and focus and really expand on all of those areas. Financially, I want to continue trying to invest. Still very invested in crypto and believe in it. And I think this next year we're going to go up.
Yeah. Go up.
I had a dream that my portfolio increased 40%. And I was like, that didn't happen, please.
Oh my God. Those are the worst when you wake up from a dream and you're like so excited. And then you're like, that didn't happen. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
But it will happen. Maybe you're just manifesting it.
Yeah.
Maybe your body's getting you ready.
Yeah.
Your subconscious.
I'm ready.
So just to reiterate, you said your personal goals within your relationship, right? You're looking into expanding on that and exploring this new chapter with Neil, which is so exciting. Their new place is beautiful. I haven't seen it in person. I'm going today though. So by the time this is released, I've been in their place.
Probably many times.
Yeah, exactly. I've already cooked in their kitchen.
Yay!
So very excited about that. But so personal goals, you have your professional goals. So not only Femme Tell All, which but also all of your producing, everything that you do within the film industry, the TV industry, music videos. You've already expanded a lot on that this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you even went outside of this industry and did some event planning and whatnot, and like really did that. Your show that you developed. I can't say it's too much, but I'm like trying to be vague.
I know, that's
but
what
still
you're
talk
saying.
about
Absolutely.
Still talk about your goals, but you have so much on your plate professionally. And then you said financially, you want to invest more. You're already
well, now it's going to be also even combining my finances with Neil.
Yeah.
And really like setting those goals for ourselves of like how we want to save, what we want to save for, what we want to put money towards, and like really kind of building that vision for ourselves.
Yeah. What's important for you two as a unit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. Okay. And
what about you?
I got lots. I mean, I think this year, 2023, another year, girly, that has proved to me that I'm more resilient than I think I am. I've always thought I'm pretty brave in certain aspects, but I was like, damn, I did a lot this year. That so I think I want to reflect.
You grew so much in this year.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think sometimes pressure creates growth. So yeah, I would say like just continuing in on that. So not only appreciating the growth that I've done. Cause I think I have a hard time with that too. Like I'll grow, but then I'm like, I'm not as far as I should be, or like as far as I want to be. And then I just completely mitigate all of that growth that I had because I'm not appreciating any of the journey that got me to where I am today. So a lot of that in my like self-worth journey, I'm always really working on that actively. So continuing to work on that and really stepping into that. And then also taking a step back to be able to appreciate what I've already accomplished. Definitely Femtell-All is huge on my list. And it has been like, you're right. Last year we were like, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Cause we'd kept soft launching it. And some family and friends had seen it and loved it. And friends of friends, we kept it really in a close quarters.
Yeah, we never promoted it at all.
No. And we really didn't even really release it fully, you know? So this was the first year we released it. And I'm so proud of us that we did it. And so like this next year, I just can't wait to see the growth that we get with this podcast, our community specifically. I'm really community focused right now in our goals. Like obviously monetization would be great, but as far as creating the group or the community that I want with this podcast.
It's funny, not to interrupt you, but it's funny because even when I was thinking about this episode and like what my goal would be for Femtell, it would be by the end of next year, us at least having community meetups. Like I would love that, to just like meet people that are like interested in what we're saying, that want to have the conversations we're having.
We'd love to connect with you.
Bring people together. Like I would love that.
Yeah. And that's the kind of business we're trying to run. You know, like that is something that is very basic in our like our needs or wants as like Femtell as a brand. And I don't know if everyone kind of knows that because we've kept it so tight so far, you know, as we're developing our brand, developing our audience. So really just expanding on that. And we're so glad that you're here.
Yeah, when we say that, we mean it.
Yeah, no, truly. You're getting us to continue, like we're being consistent for you guys. And it's so funny. You hear influencers say that, like, I'm really thankful for you guys at home. Like I do this for you. And it's always like, okay, blah, blah, blah. But it's true. I think we've, hinted at this in past episodes, but truly what keeps us going besides our sheer want to just meet up every, and film these episodes and do this is because we know that it is having a positive influence on others. And we want to continue that as much as we can. So taking that globally would be amazing. It is already global. We have listeners all over, which is so wild.
Which is incredible.
Yeah. So continuing to do it, continuing to expand on it, really honing in on how we can positively affect others. So that's a huge goal for Femtell-All for me. Romantically, I feel like I'm not sure, I think it's funny because I want to have an answer for myself as far as like, well, but you can't be like, I want a boyfriend, it's like,
maybe that's the goal, is just getting to an answer.
Yeah. Seeing what, I think my goal, if I had to pinpoint it right now, is just like continuing to self-audit and check in with myself and like knowing when I can have a partner and want a partner, and knowing when it's solo time, you know,
absolutely,
and navigating that. So that is something that I really want to expand on in this new year, and trying not to ramble. I apologize. Then financially, for sure, that is something that always, financial and health is like always on my plate of like, let's work on this. So financially, I'd really like to get into investing. We've already had our finance episode where I was like, I'm terrified of investing. Spoiler alert, your girl is still not fully taken the leap, and I want to, and I will. I will in 2024. So that's really exciting. I already have a couple of friends that have sent me books. Thank you for some of our listeners that reached out to me and were like, girl, this book changed my life. I'm like, yes, that's what I want to hear. I've gotten that a couple of times about different subjects. So please always send us like videos or recommendations, movies, documentaries, film, like anything like that. Books specifically. So definitely getting into that and getting my finances right, and potentially a new job. Who knows? Yeah. Not to throw that out. I want a dream kitchen. Okay. And if
you're gonna get it.
And if there's not a man out there to give it to me, I'm giving it to myself. Okay. And not that I ever would
You
expect a
have
partner
one
to
now.
give it to me.
You have a room at my place and you have a kitchen.
That's true. That's
Please
true.
cook for me.
And again, by the time this is released, I'm really in there. I'm in that kitchen.
I have a question for you.
Ooh.
So I think a lot of us like start off the new year with goal setting, right?
Yeah.
How do you make sure you maintain that throughout the year?
Yeah. I'm actually pretty diligent about my goals as far as like if I stick to something. There's different personality types. I don't know what the actual quiz is. I'll find it and I'll put it in the bio of this episode. But there's a quiz that my sister made all of us take, and it was like, are you an upholder, a rebel, a obliger, or a questioner? It's these 4 like archetypes of. I'm getting to a point, I promise. But it's a 4 archetypes of personality and how you continue goals and things like that. How do you continue growth and stuff like that? And I'm an upholder, which means like if I tell myself I'm going to do something, I do it.
That's
as opposed to like
huge.
someone's outside, you know, and that's something I like really identify with. So New Year's goals for me, like I'm not the right person to ask because it is a little easier for me as far as like, oh, I told myself I'm going to do this, so I'm going to do it.
I love that.
But I think the thing is having grace too. There is a point like I've had this conversation with my sister lately. She has some goals that she's working on, like fasting and stuff like that. And she's so diligent with it. And I have so much respect for that. But sometimes I'm like, you can, you know, every now and then, like if you need a week off, if you need a day off, you can totally, you don't have, if your goal is work out 5 times a week and you get sick one week and you're going to push yourself to work out that 5th time because you're like, I told myself 5 times. Baby girl, please don't. Like,
listen to your body.
Listen to your body, listen to your mind. Exactly. You said exactly what I was going to say. Okay. You know, I'm so glad that you said that. But you need to be in tune with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think having flexibility of like, you can maintain your goals and you don't always have to be so rigid with it. If a rigid work plan helps you, then lean into that. But if you're someone that's like, I need a little more flexibility, or if I feel too rigid, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to rebel against it and fuck it. I don't want to do this goal anymore. You have to know yourself and like reward yourself accordingly. You know?
Absolutely.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with a lot of that. I think that for people that aren't like you, because I think I struggle with it sometimes, like especially if I get busy or if I get sidetracked or because I have so many goals, like I'll be like, oh, I'm working on this one. And then I forgot about this one. I want to do this. I think that this is a great time of year to sit down with yourself and say, these are the overarching like goals that I want to hit. Give yourself markers because it's so easy to give ourselves like, I want them to all to be super successful. But what does that mean to you? Like where's that number? Like where's that marker that you're like, I succeeded here?
1,000 followers or what, you know, something like that. I'm so glad you said that. And I actually do resonate with what you had said of like, I have so many goals. It's like, where do I focus my time? Which is a good problem to have.
It is a great problem to have,
but it is hard. And if you're a perfectionist or you have any perfectionist tendencies or overachieving tendencies, you automatically think you failed the whole thing. If you can't juggle.
That is my struggle.
If you can't juggle 12 goals, then you've just failed all of them. And you're like, you've done 11, like tremendously, you know? To piggyback on your point, I love what you said about like making markers. I've done that with time too. So like if at the beginning of the year, before the year, or like the first week of January, I write out my goals, right? And I put them into categories. I'm a little anal retentive when it comes to this. I'm like health, finance, you know, wellness, blah, blah. And 3 months in, I check, and I'm like, okay, how realistic are these goals?
Like a timer on like your like a calendar reminder.
I kind of do that. I'll do a little reminder on my calendar, or kind of you just know you're like, oh, we're on the 3rd month, you know, we're in the 6th month, you know. But I think a calendar reminder would be great because it actually is like holding your feet to the fire. And I go like, okay, how attainable is this goal that I set for myself? Because I'm okay with adjusting the goalpost if I need to, if it means I'm going to still get something done instead of like go into a shame spiral because I can't get it done. Let's reassess, like baby girl. So I'm like, okay, what can you do? So I'll adjust there. And sometimes I'll laugh at myself. I'm like, LOL, love that you were that ambitious. Love the energy, but maybe next year. And sometimes I'm like, oh no, you're doing it. Good job. Keep it up. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, I could actually challenge myself more. I am consistently working out 3 times a week. Should I change the goal to 3 to 5?
Yeah.
And so I can play in that range. And then I'm not mad at myself if I don't get to 5 every week.
Absolutely.
But I'm like, oh, if I can get to 4 and 5 some weeks or most weeks, I'm killing
the average
this.
of it.
Yeah. So I think that's one thing I would really recommend on top of making markers, specific goals for all of your goals, like, labeling them within that. Also reassessing every 3 months,
Love that.
like do it 4 times a year, or you do it at the beginning of the year.
Even add on to that, like even I think it's good to set lofty goals.
Yes.
And what you can do, I think a lot of times when you do a lofty goal, it feels so overwhelming. You're like, oh my God, how am I going to get here? I think you have to do like the mini steps in between, right? And so you lay that out and go like, okay, if I just do, like using working out as an example, like maybe you set that goal of 3 times a week and you haven't done any. Yeah. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to get up every morning and I'm going to at least go on a walk.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to get up at least every Monday and I'm going to start here and I'm going to do this. And then just like doing it, I'm going to do it at least today.
Yeah.
And then just like kind of keep going and going. And like those little incremental movements add up to a lot over a year.
So much. Yeah. So much. And you don't realize it until you're like, noticing it in your body, sometimes you're like, oh, these jeans didn't used to fit or something like that, or you feel like, I have a big water jug in my house that like every time I lift it, I'm like, oh, when I'm like really working out, I'm like, this shit, I can throw this shit. It's 50 pounds. I don't need no man, I'm like, wow. And when you have those moments where you can be like, wow, I am actually doing it. And it's the small things. It's not necessarily, it's just consistency.
Well, that's the funny thing is too, like with any goal, once you start seeing the payoff, even if it's
you get
small,
a little taste of the victory.
You get more like excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're so
it's
right.
It's the same with investing.
Yeah. And this became a finance podcast. But it's true. You're right.
It is true. Like, I mean, like even.
I know I'm going to get fucking addicted. I'm going to like scratching. I'm going to be like, well, how much can I transfer into this account? Yeah.
I remember like, I think I talked about this on the finance episode, but when like, when we, like my partner at that time, when we had given ourselves a marker of this month, we're going to save, we want to save this much every month. The day we would both get paid, like instantly that amount would go into savings. And it felt so exciting seeing that number increase every payday. It felt so good. And it was like, oh my gosh,
like, a good point.
It's such an like achievement.
Yeah. And it's like an adrenaline rush.
It totally
is. And I think we've talked about this so many times, like when we work out in the morning or we work out once a day. Like we've mentioned this on the podcast many times. So bear with us. Thank you for being here. But it's true. I feel like I can give myself like a little gold medal, gold star at the end of the day. And I'm like, wow, I accomplished so much today.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at her. She is living life, And so I can only imagine like, a really lucrative, like literally lucrative.
Absolutely.
Goal
and then
like
the more
that.
you see it grow, the safer you feel almost to pursue other things. Like, and that's really the goal, right? Our goal is to get our time and our security back away from like reliance on other things.
Yeah. And that's where like that financial freedom comes into play because if you have that financial freedom, then you can really put in your time, your other currency, right? Into other things that you love and are passionate about. I'm going to ask you a question and challenge you. Tell me something that you're passionate about that you want to try this year that maybe you neglect or haven't usually tried or want to, maybe explore, maybe a hobby or like a skill set or.
So I'll name 2 things that the first one I know I'm not going to do because I've said it for so long.
No, you could do it. You could do it. Okay.
But it's like, I would, because I have so much family in Korea.
Yeah.
That don't speak English, and I would love to be able to communicate with them.
I think that's awesome.
But I've said it for so many years now. I even got the book. I've even done Duolingo. And I'm like, I don't know why I can't commit to it. I think it's just like, again, with all the other stuff, like I get like so sidetracked. And you know what else it is?
Ooh,
I think when you're a perfectionist, when you start something and you're not good at it, you're like, fuck this.
Yes.
No.
That's actually so true. That's facts. A lot of people can't handle it. Yeah.
And it is.
It feels like failure. And it's not. It's not. Newsflash. But not to you. That was to the audience, but also to you.
Fair.
Tough love comes out. Yeah. No, like, well, I'm wondering, like, would you benefit from having like an accountability partner or something like that?
No.
She went, no, thank you. No, thank you.
But I mean, I would love that. Maybe we'll talk about it. But maybe I would love that actually. Like if I did, at least like if I tried to commit to like 10 minutes a day, even like that would add up.
Yeah, well, that's where Duolingo really helps or something like that. Yeah, totally.
Secondly, I've always thought about trying to get. Oh my God, I just lost the word in my head.
We can come back to it.
Oh my God, no, it's like a wine connoisseur.
Sommelier.
Yeah, I've always thought about going to classes.
Sexiest thing, please be a sommelier. Oh my God, I'd be like, yeah, my bestie is a sommelier.
And I'm like, this smells like hints of the grape.
There's some oak here, very rustic. Yes. Oh my God, please.
And I'm such a big wine drinker that I can make it classy.
Yes. I mean, it is classy. It is classy, and it would be classy for you to do it.
And then if to have the knowledge of it,
what a cool skill,
that, right?
And I think there's I know there's already a limited amount of women sommeliers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that would be so incredible. Yeah. I love that goal for you. That's so
what
good.
What about you? I want to hear yours.
Oh my God. What a great question. Who
thought of that?
It's almost like I don't want to answer it. Well, I do want to keep up. I'm not trying to cop out, but I took a break this year. The last 3 years I had done a new recipe a week. And I'm doing it again this year. Yeah. So she's doing it again. I
know you posted on your personal. Like I think we should also post it for the.
We could totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't mind doing that. Keeping me Maddie's recipe of the week. Yeah, I mean
in Ruth's kitchen.
Yeah,
leftovers at Ruth's house.
Yeah. What are the girls eating? I think
I like that.
I love that idea. I think it just fueled me so much, and I loved. Again, I've talked about in past episodes. I love cooking for others. Like it's a love language for me. So it at the end of the day wasn't just for me. Like it was a challenge, and I loved that. And it was something like it was a little like game almost of like, oh, what can I make this week? What can I, And that was something that I know I was saying earlier. Like you can be really, really lenient with yourself sometimes. My mom would be like, you don't have to make one every week, and I'd be like, Mom, yes I do. And she'd be like, okay. And I was like, I have to. I made this goal for myself. I need to make one every week. And I wanted to stick to that. I did it for 3 years, and I'm like, all right, I can do it again. Yeah. I lost some steam, and I was like, let's not drive ourselves into the ground. So I took a year off, and I still made a lot of new recipes this year, but not one every week. And I want to get back to that.
I love that.
This next year. And then there's always things that I've wanted to try. Like I've always loved pottery, and like ceramics in general.
Oh, really?
I'm so.
We should do a pottery class. Yeah, they're super fun.
I know. I've done it. I've never done a class. My sister-in-law, she does ceramics, and she taught me one night. It was so fun, and I was like, I'm objectively not good at this, and it's something you learn. You know, I'm like, it's like being like, oh, can you be an equestrian really quick? You're like, I need some more.
Time.
Yeah, exactly. You need to develop the skills, the hand placement. So, I've always found that so sexy and fun and like.
You want a ghost moment.
Yeah.
You want a ghost moment.
I kind of want a ghost moment. I think it's like my love for kitchens too and cooking. Like if I could create a lot of like, plateware for myself and like ceramics that I can use in my kitchen. That'd be so cool. And I'd love to give it to others. I've had friends and my sister-in-law who have made things that I now own, and it's like feels so special and so intimate, and they made that, and even if they didn't originally make it for you, but then they give it to you, it's like, you did this with your hands. Like, I think that is something that I really would admire and like to do.
I just want to like highlight this question because I think it's such a great question. I think we often go into goal setting with these like just like the relationship, the money, the career, like
making ourselves the best we can be.
Yeah, but I think it's great to add on something fun to that would bring you joy.
You need some levity.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, I'm so glad that you have Korean in sommelier. Immediate regret.
Just shame.
Oh my gosh, not Game of Thrones. I'm trying to think of what else. Like, there's just so much to do in this world.
Really
like,
you know, what'd be kind of fun if like if you set your goals,
Yeah.
and then I set my goals,
Yeah.
but then we allow the other person to set a goal for, because
I love that.
Like, you know me so well.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be great to hear what you think I should achieve in the year, and vice versa.
Oh my God. I know that you would just fucking zinger me, and it would be so good though. I'd be like, fuck, I gotta do it. I gotta do it for Ruth. I would love to do that.
Yeah,
we can
let's
do
do
that. Maybe we can talk about that on the next episode.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, we got this goal for each other. Yeah. I will say I'm a huge vision board girly too. And did you end up making the?
We did. I will say that I don't feel like we ever finished them, but my friend Lily, she made a vision board, but she did it on like a program. So it wasn't like physical, but she's adjusted it throughout the year. And I swear to God, her vision board is magic.
Yeah.
Everything
that
she has put
true.
on the board, it has come to pass.
It comes true.
And these are like big things too that we've talked about throughout the year, and like everything has happened.
Congratulations to Lily.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I tell her, I'm like, it's magic. Like, please, can you add this for me on your board?
And Ruth has a happily ever after. That's so great that you want that on your board. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's visual representation sometimes. And I'm going to get woo-woo. I'm your resident woo-woo girl. But but that is something that I really love. I look back at my Pinterest board a lot. Like, I have one that was like New Year with like 4 dozen R's. 4 dozen. 48. Yeah, no, it's literally. And it's, don't look it up. Don't look it up.
There's too many R's. You'll never guess.
You'll never find it. But yeah, I have this Pinterest board that it's really helped me, and I've adjusted it a couple times, you know. Funny enough, like the person I was dating at the end of last year when I was like making it, there was a couple of pictures that I had seen of couples that like reminded me of us. And I put them on the board. And then after we broke up, I was like, fuck this. I like, took those pictures off. I was like, never mind. Well, thankfully I can just remove it. So it's like great. It wasn't like a physical board that I'm like tearing off. But it was so funny because then I kept some and I was like, this is more like, this doesn't feel cloaked in us as a couple. And like, although that ended, and it ended as it should have, like I don't have any bad blood there, but I'm like, it's so funny that we can adjust. We can in small things like that where I was like, oh, I don't need this kind of energy on my board anymore. Like what I want is this, and this. So I had changed it even in the earlier months. And I do look back, I had tried to make a goal for myself to reference it every night. And then I felt like I was on my phone too much at night. And I was like, okay, I don't need it. I'm like using it as an excuse. And then I can go into TikTok and Instagram. And it's like, we don't need that. But I would like to do like maybe every week. If I make another Pinterest board this upcoming year, which I more than likely will.
Or even just like the first of the month.
First of the month would be great. You just reference it and you look at it and you're like, oh yeah. Because there were certain phrases on there that I kept seeing and you just kind of manifest it or you kind of like put it in your psyche.
It's what they say about horoscopes too. That like when you read your horoscope, it like implants in the back of your brain. And so sometimes you create that reality for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's the same with anything that you're trying to achieve too, right? And that's why I think maybe a month is like a good marker because like you implant the thought and then you go through the month. Yeah. Check back in.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. Yeah. So I don't know about you girlies and everyone out there, but I'm going to make another Pinterest board for myself. I think I definitely will have too. A Femme Tell All Pinterest board that we use and we still, I add stuff to it almost every day.
Yeah. I get notifications.
Do you really? I thought that, wow. Wow. I did not know that. Amazing. It's like girly. Well, maybe make sure your friend is okay if you end up starting a joint Pinterest account.
They better be okay.
Yeah, they're going to be good with it. Yeah. And then what are some things that you want to leave behind in 2023?
Wow, that's a great question.
I love that you're loving this.
Oh my God, I am. Oh wow, what do I want to leave behind? I want to leave behind the anxiety that I experience from any change. I think that as excited as I am about this new chapter in my life, I have been experiencing a lot of anxiety. Yeah. And I think that I do with any major change in my life because I tend to think more about what could go wrong than what could go right. Yeah. And so I'd like to leave that behind and just focus on all the positive that's going to come with all this year. Yeah. I would like to leave any self-limiting thoughts behind. Yeah. And I think that we all experience that, obviously. But like, I think that what I would like to start doing is changing my internal dialogue to why I can do something instead of fearing that I'll fail at something.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you for even getting to that, right? That is such a huge task just to figure out some of your roadblockers.
Yeah.
And again, these aren't detrimental. It's not like you can't accomplish your goals or have the happy ending. You're having it, right? And you're accomplishing your goals even with these things. But you're like, what would make my day-to-day easier?
Absolutely, yeah.
What would make me enjoy these benefits more? Yeah. All of these things. And I think I'm so glad. I'm so proud of you. Definitely self-doubt and self-criticism. I doubt myself way more than I should. And it's so funny because like when I do audit, I'm like, I'm a bad bitch. Like, I'm like, I fucking do that shit.
Can your resolution board on Pinterest be gone? I'm a bad bitch.
Yeah. No,
so every time you do look at it,
then
you're
I'm
reminded.
like, you're right. Yeah. You're right. My therapist did this year literally look at me dead in the face and go, I need you to be more of a bitch. And I was like, cool.
That's right. I remember that.
She did say that.
I love your therapist so much. I hope she's watching. I just want to send so much love to you.
She's the best.
We want to be your friend.
Yeah, no, truly. I'm like, favorite patient? I'm kidding. But self-doubt, self-criticism, I want to leave in the past because I'm like, for why? First of all. Second of all, who's helping? Them out there, the naysayers, the haters. It's not helping me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my fucking goals.
People.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm good. So that, and then I would say like the subgenre of that would be limited thinking. You know, I am such a optimist when it comes to others. Like people tell me their goals. I'm like, literally I got dinner with my friend the other day and she was telling me about maybe switching her career. I was like, great, how do we do that? And she laughed. She was like, what do you mean, how do we? And I was like, how can I get you there? And she was like, I love that. And I was like, but we're a community. We got to do that. And I'm like, it's so funny. It's so easy for like, if my friend looks at me, if you were like, I'm dropping everything and I want to become an equestrian. I've made that reference twice in this. I don't know why.
Maybe
but
she wants
not a horse girl. Actually afraid of horses. But if you were like that, you were like, hey, I want to drop this and become this. I'd be like, sick.
You would.
What do you want?
Maybe
how can I help you?
Maybe the goal is to start talking to yourself like you talk to your friends.
That's what, I think the limiting thoughts are only prescribed. So taking that away from, like taking that candy away from me and being like, you don't get to limit yourself. What, like you had said earlier, if you're thinking all the good things and all these positive things and you're thinking about all the things that could go right, how is that hindering you? Like, I think we get so anxious and caught up in like, okay, but we have to think of what could go wrong. And it's like, well, if it's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. Yeah. And you're smart enough and like sensible enough to solve that problem when it arises. Yeah. So why not focus on
where it says like, if you think about what might go wrong, then you're troubled twice or something like that.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking. I think it's like there's so many quotes around that like concept of like, why are you putting yourself through twice the worry, like twice the the stress. So I want to fucking cut the self-limiting thoughts out of my brain and just go for it.
I love that.
Well, look at us. 2024 can't hold us down.
Yeah, I'm coming for you, baby.
We got this. You tried to get us this year. You tried. And you will not get us. We are here and we are thriving.
Yes, we are. And we're going to continue to. And so are you guys. Yeah. And so just to wrap us up on our last episode of the year.
Before we do that, I'm sorry. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for an incredible year where I learned a ton. I met the man of my dreams.
Yeah.
I've grown even closer and more in love with my best friend.
Yeah. Me too, baby. I love you. Yeah.
And I'm just grateful for new beginnings.
I love that. Okay. I'm grateful for the simple joys in life that make me laugh and cry on the day to day, and the things that have proved to me this year that I'm stronger than I thought it was. Yeah. So to wrap us up, Miss Ruth Devereaux.
To wrap us up, take this time out to set goals for yourself. Make them goals that you can come back to. Don't be afraid to adjust. Don't be afraid to have a goal to cut out negativity in your life or improve your mindset in any way. Set a fun goal on top of that. It doesn't have to be all serious, like something you're looking to find joy in and grow from, like in a fun way. Like definitely do all of those things. Tell us about it. We want to hear about it. We will keep you updated on our goals. We are so grateful you're here. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. We want to hear from you, and we will see you next year.
See you in the next year. Love you guys.
Love you.
Thank you.
Bye.